Hello, you guys. Welcome to the channel. The channel now is going by the name of the Hispanic Expat. My name is Aaron. I'm glad you guys are following through and coming upon this video. So for today's topic, this video is going to be about what are the benefits of a second passport, right? So in my case, I will be sharing later on a story of how I got my second passport. So I am an American. I was born in the U.S. Therefore, I have my American or my U.S. passport. Um, but because my parents were born in Mexico and they were from Mexico, I was able to be granted my Mexican passport as well. So I have two passports. Therefore, I'm officially a dual citizen of the U.S. and of Mexico. So for this video, I want to cover on what are the benefits of a second passport, right? And really, I'm just going to go off the top of my head of the benefits of having a second passport, right? It is a process to obtain the passport. For some countries, most countries, they recognize dual citizenship or having that second passport, right? Whether it's mostly in Latin America, sometimes in Europe, I know in Italy and in Spain or other countries like that. But for the most part, I'm going to cover what are the benefits of a second passport. So the first one that I can think of is that the benefit of having a second passport is that you are recognized as a citizen of that country. Therefore, meaning that you can travel as a Mexican uh, pretty much anywhere else in the world, right? That benefit includes maybe for certain countries, right? You may have to pay a visa for a certain country if you go in as an American, but as a Mexican, right, or using that second passport, you sometimes don't have to go to that visa, or you have more time that's allowed to be in that country. So those are one of the reasons or one of the benefits that have having the second passport. Another thing that I would say that pertains to having the benefit of a second passport is that you can work, you have the right to work in that country as well as vote in that country. You can also own land or own a business or own property, right? So when you have a second passport from another country, you're recognized as a citizen. Therefore, you have the same rights as any of the citizens of wanting to own land one day, wanting to vote, wanting to work there as well. Um, also, wanting to work, also seeking the services there as far as like healthcare or any of those particular services that may not be accessible to citizens, or sorry, not to citizens, but to foreigners or residents, right? So it's like you're at the same level essentially as a citizen. Another reason that I could also throw in is that it also acts as a plan B. So basically, having a second passport, you can use it. The way I would say is like you have it as an insurance policy, right? So meaning that, say, like, in your home country, there's war, there's political instability, um, there's a beer, uh, let's just say pandemic, right? Or that kind of thing. Um, any sort of uh, thing that could take place in that country, you have a place to go, right? So if something were to happen in my home country, I have somewhere to go in case the situation becomes very much dire, right? It gets more serious than it was anticipated, right? That's when having a second passport comes in handy. I mean, you can think of, parts of Eastern Europe, right, where, there's certain wars going on, or in Asia, right? If those citizens of that country that experience war, if they have a second passport, then they have somewhere to go in case of those things. So that's another third reason I would throw in there as having the benefit of having a second passport. So that's one. Another reason I would say is that you have access to the financial sector of that country. So if from your home country, if you want to diversify, aside from whether you have dollars, U.S. dollars, euros, francs, whatever your home country's currency is, you have access to opening a bank account in that country that's your second passport, right? You can open a bank account, open a fund, um, more diversity in terms of currencies, right? Because you can hold whichever currency your second country's is, or your second passport is. You can hold a bank account or something in that country, right? And it also makes transactions easier in that country as well. So, I guess another reason, maybe I already said the fourth, but maybe the fifth reason is that it's just something to have, um, as some people say it's a novelty. I mean, I would say it's also, you get to, depending on what your background is, right? You may have, Italian parents, or you may have, parents from Romania or Argentina, or all these other countries. It's also a way for you to connect to that country, to the home country of where your parents or your grandparents are from. Um, and it opens doors for you culturally, I would say. I mean, in my case, I've traveled most of Mexico my whole life. I've traveled throughout most of Mexico more so than the U.S. itself. I've been around maybe 15 states in Mexico, from the north to the central areas of Mexico City, Puebla, all the way to the Rivera Maya. So I've traveled most of Mexico for my life in my early years, which I'll get into in another video of what my travels were like as a kid. But having that passport really seals the deal as far as, hey, I am a Mexican, right? That this can't be taken away from me unless, I allege myself to another nationality or a citizenship, or I do something to deny this citizenship. But as long as I hold it, and as long as I purposely use it, that is my right of being a Mexican citizen, as well as being a U.S. Citizen. So I guess that's another reason that kind of gets overlooked. It's more of a cultural tie to that country, right? Um, I guess a bonus reason would be, you, I mean, in a more biased way, I mean, certain countries where you may not be received as well, right? If you're traveling as an American, Australian, European, Canadian, right? Maybe sometimes having a second passport or using that second passport, again, it ties to the visa rules, how that country receives you as that second citizen that you are, right? Or not necessarily are a second citizen, but it's your second passport, right? It's you may have had it because you were granted that citizenship, because of your parents, grandparents, etc. So it also opens doors to when you travel to other places. For example, like with the Mexican passport, if I wanted to, I could travel to Venezuela visa free, or I can travel to Iran visa free, as opposed to as an American, right? Those are just some examples of it. I mean, everybody's passports are different depending on what the nationality is. So those are some of the reasons as well, or the benefits, I guess, of having a second passport. Um, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Sorry, cut it back. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see more of. Do you guys want to see more of um, maybe sort of an edited version of this, sort of this unedited version where I'm just kind of freestyling it and having a list of topics that I'm going to talk about? If you guys want to know more about my story, as far as how I got my second citizenship, because I was an American, or I am an American, but I also have both. Um, and just throw suggestions. I'll be covering different topics on this channel. And this channel is just more of a personal journey, right? At the moment, I am working towards remote work, or trying to land remote work, although it is a process. I mean, I've been going through applications and that sort of thing. But let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys want to see me talk about more. Again, my channel is more based on travel stories, some places that I've been to myself. as well as what are some tips about getting a second passport or looking into a residency. Some things to consider if you're going to move abroad, or if you're thinking of moving abroad, or just traveling to a place to look into potentially moving abroad. I'll kind of expand on it more as I throw more videos out, but just let me know in the comments. So like I said, it's just a quick video that I just did just right now. And I'll be following up with you guys soon. And I thank you guys for your support, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.